As a poignant peace offering was extended to petulant Prince Harry, his difficult wife, Meghan, was sensationally cut out of the picture. Although William's happy 40th birthday wishes to his brother should not be interpreted as an end to hostilities, they were certainly significant, an important gesture that might just signal the early beginnings of a long and painful family healing process. But the photo of Harry used on William and Kate's official royal website told a sorry story. Meghan Markle was edited out. This was not an accident. Make no mistake, the solo shot of the Duke of Sussex minus the Duchess sent a message that while in the fullness of time the British royals may just find a way to work things out with Harry, they do not envisage Meghan being a part of the rapprochement. As homesick Harry plans more and more return trips, it seems highly unlikely that Ms. Markle will ever set foot in the UK again. And that's just fine with William, Kate, the King, and especially Queen Camilla, described by Harry as the villain of the story. And shocking allegations in America's showbiz Bible, The Hollywood Reporter, have served as a grim reminder of the Duchess's life and controversial times when she was on the English side of the Atlantic. When in London, she was accused of bullying staff to such an extent the Queen ordered an external investigation, the results of which suspiciously were never published. Now, according to the respected Hollywood Reporter, she's at it again, chronicling the extraordinarily high turnover of staff and noting that the long list of those who have quit call themselves the Sussex Survivors Club. The magazine quotes a source close to their Montecito Majesties saying, "Everyone's terrified of Meghan. She belittles people. She doesn't take advice. They're both poor decision makers. They change their minds frequently. Harry is a very, very charming person, no airs at all, but he's very much an enabler, and she's just terrible." It appears clear that the root of Harry and Meghan's problems is Meghan's personality, her character. She's at war not only with the British royal family, who she insists treated her terribly, but with all of Britain. We're racists, we're slave drivers, we're just awful. So as far as we're concerned, and one suspects the King too, the difficult Duchess can stay where she belongs, on planet California, wallowing in her truth, which of course is not to be confused with the truth. Although a recent poll revealed that 60% of Brits appalled by Harry's attacks on the King and country never want to see him back in the regal fold again, that means his rock-bottom popularity rating is ever so slightly improving. And perhaps in years to come, the Ginger Whinger could achieve some sort of comeback. He'd better hope so, because the Sussex's showbiz ambitions are in the toilet. The Hollywood Reporter headline alone spelled deep trouble. Why Hollywood keeps quitting on Harry and Meghan. Part of the reason, apparently, is Meg's penchant for noisy tantrums and 5 a.m. emails. She's absolutely relentless, the source explains. She marches around like a dictator in high heels, fuming and barking orders. I've watched her reduce grown men to tears. In such an influential publication read by all of Tinseltown's movers and shakers, this is devastating stuff, a serious roadblock to future projects. Meanwhile, still struggling to open for business, Meghan's lifestyle site, American Riviera Orchard, is going nowhere fast. Her uneagerly awaited cooking series looks set to bring down the curtain on the Sussex's $100 million Netflix deal. And the big question is, what next? Do Harry and Meghan even know? I don't think they do. Do you, Samara?
No, they absolutely don't know, and it seems like everything's crumbling around them as we speak. I think from the sheer staff turnover, we can decide that Harry and Meghan, especially Meghan, is a bully. A massive bully. And this Hollywood Reporter thing that's come out has been really interesting. But I was sifting through even what Harry put in his own book, Spare, okay? I want to say...
She does the research.
No.
It's unusual on this. She's the only one who does on this programme.
Well, I just wanted to directly quote this and get it right, but he said in Spare, more than once a day, a staff member would be slumped across their desk and weeping. In such a climate, there was no such thing as constructive criticism. All feedback was seen as an affront or an insult. Now, that doesn't exactly sound like a healthy work environment. That was while they were obviously at Kensington Palace. Yeah. But that shows, even directly coming from him, that there were structural issues, and Meghan is a terrible handler of people. And I think that when you can't build a team around you that's loyal and that supports you, success is never going to happen.
Absolutely. Now, Simon, you don't understand America. We've established that because you think Kamala's going to win the presidential election. She's tried to pretend that a true story is a lie, and the effect of that has been to fan the flames of this story. And trust me, she will never work in Tinseltown again. She doesn't know what the she's doing.
I don't want to call her a bully. She is challenging, she is difficult, and they have a high turnover of staff. That's not great. That's not great optics, and that's not good for anybody. What I do think is really weird is the Hollywood Reporter, the Bible of Hollywood, as you so proudly proclaimed, is here doing stories about two people who aren't really Hollywood at all. They're not really Hollywood.
Well, there you have it. There you have it.
Indeed.
Therein lies their problem.
You spend every week slagging her off for being some sort of glamour girl, two-bit actress. She's not doing Hollywood films. Harry isn't Hollywood at all. If the Hollywood Reporter is such a great and reputable publication, which you will argue it is.
It is.
Which you will argue it is.
You think it is a scandal?
Wait there. Why is it doing two-bit stories about two-bit actresses and not wait for it?
There you have it, folks. There you have it, folks.
Wait for it.
A two-bit actress, Simon London,
which
just
I'm happy
Meghan.
to say. I'll say it again. Two-bit actress. Why is it not? Where was the Hollywood Reporter when you wanted it to be uncovering stories about true Hollywood power players like Harvey Weinstein? Waited for Ronan Farrow to do that, didn't it?
You having a go at the Hollywood Reporter?
Attacking Harry and Meghan. They're chick feed. Everybody does it. Express does it.
Are you saying?
I'm saying the Hollywood Reporter has jumped on the clickbait bandwagon. Harry and Meghan sells advertising on their online website.
Are you calling?
It's a bit of a non-story.
Are you calling the Hollywood Reporter a scandal rag?
I'm just saying it's changed.
It's not, is it?
I'm saying it's pivoted to do stories about two-bit royals who aren't Hollywood stars. They're not Hollywood stars.
Wait a second. They've got a $100 million contract with Netflix. They've made a documentary series. He's got a series on the world's most boring sport, polo, coming out, which, by the way, is horrendously cruel. I bet he doesn't cover that angle. She's got a cooking series coming out. They were on Spotify. This is big Hollywood.
They're not Hollywood players.
Wait a second.
They're not Hollywood players.
This is big Hollywood business. $100 million, that is worth the Hollywood Reporter covering. And you can't call it a scandal rag. It is a serious publication. I lived there. I read it every bloody day. You have to when you live in Tinseltown. Right, Samara?
Yes, and Simon, you know what? Therein lies the problem when you say they're not Hollywood. Hollywood is allowed to have divas, okay? Hollywood has lots of divas. It's full of egomaniacs and divas, and we know from lots of reports on cheap Ryman's photo shoots that Meghan was a diva well before she entered the palace, and she kept that persona, and she treated palace staff like they were assistants on a photo shoot in a Hollywood thing. And you know what? This is the issue. She acts like royalty. She still uses a lot of the royal crests. Royalty is about service to the people. Okay, so why are they acting like Hollywood divas and then putting one foot in and pretending to be royals?
Look, all I'm saying...
It doesn't make sense. They're not acting like royalty, and that's the whole problem. People wouldn't really go after them if they were just, some D-list actors.
What you just said seems a little bit insane anyway. Why are they not acting like royalty?
Only a little bit.
Well, they've got to have one foot in the go out and make money for yourself and not be on the civil list side, and one foot in we are the Duchess and Duke of Sussex. And those two things do not mesh together very well.
They don't
mesh together very well.
We agree that.
Okay, so let's agree that. But these people, in terms of talking about huge Hollywood, the Sumner Redstones or whoever they're called, the people who run studios and everything else, they are just not those people.
Yeah,
this becomes another clickbait story. And you talk about Samara doing her research I read this story and there were 3 quotes in it. She walks around like high heels, she barks orders, and she's not very nice. Everything else was a rehashed quote. Everything else was a rehashed quote.
She makes grown men cry.
I'll give you that one as well.
Thank you very much.
Four quotes.
Stop spouting bullshit.
Four quotes. It's a non-story about people who were not huge Hollywood stars. I'm bored by it, quite frankly.
I think it's a really interesting story.
You would do.
And it meshes with the way she behaved over here. As
She's
I
a
said
diva.
in my monologue, the Queen was so concerned by her behaviour...
that she ordered an internal report.
External
report.
The results of which were never published. Here's a little snapshot of the way she behaved. That even the gardener... at Adelaide House, when they were staying there, the head gardener went to the Queen and said, the way she's talking to my staff, I can't take it. The Queen was so concerned, she got in her car and personally drove to Adelaide Cottage to talk to Meghan and say, mend your ways.
She's a diva.
I don't think she actually said
She's a diva. No. McEnroe used to be a spoilt brat.
No.
Madonna can be a diva at times. Demi Moore was annoying.
Did we ever
such and such as a bully.
Fine. But did we ever hear about the Queen being a diva? No, we heard that she was a stoic personality.
You know something? Sorry, Samara, but you say that about the Queen being a diva. In the first 24 hours after the Queen died, what was the viral clip? It was Prince Charles waving away a flunky about his pen that didn't work, and everyone went,
He was in grief.
Everybody went, the Queen did it for 60 years and never had a crossword in public, and the King can't manage it for 24 hours. So let's stop
he was probably a bit upset. His mum had
let's stop making excuses for everybody, you two. Yeah. Let's just say, she's a diva, she misbehaves, this is a bit of a non-story.
But it is... all right. You want to say it's a non-story, but here we are talking about it. The whole world's talking about it.
No, they're not.
It's all over Access Hollywood, a massive programme in America. So it is a story, but OK, whatever you think about it, you can think about it. However, let me tell you, it has killed their showbiz the gruesome twosomes, showbiz ambitions in Hollywood are stone dead because of this story.
And Trump is going to win
the election. We'll come on to that in a minute.
We'll come on to that. You just don't know that.
I do know it.
Hollywood will put up...
What do you know about Hollywood?
We know that Hollywood will put up with a lot because Harvey Weinstein, what he was doing in Hollywood, that should have been uncovered by the Hollywood Reporter. Forget two-bit royals. Those are the true stories. Not saying, Meghan shouted at a man and he cried. Boo fucking who. Get over it.
Harvey Weinstein, for all his many faults, was a very talented film producer.
Oh, cool.
The trouble with stop talking over me. It's my show. The trouble with the gruesome tooth and with Harry and Meghan is they got no talent. Harvey Weinstein, terrible man, behaved appallingly, but his career was maintained by his cleverness.
And
anyway, it's time for a bad ad.
Hi, folks. This is Don from Don's Guns. Have I got a deal for you? Normally, a membership here at Don's Guns is $100, unlimited shooting for 1 year. But if you'll come in now and join my range, either north or south, I'll give you an American-made gun worth $80 as part of the membership. Why? You know why. Because I don't want to make any money, folks. I just love to sell guns.
$80, a free gun.
A gun-toting hobbit. Just laughing maniacally down the camera lens.
I've got one next time I'm in the States. I'm
sure you will.
Straight down.
I'm sure you will.
Seriously, when I was in LA living over there, all these British guys would turn up. They'd all meet every Saturday and go to the woods and shoot guns because they were so intrigued by it. They'd say, "You want to come and shoot guns?" I go, "Nah, not really."
No. Did you say I've got a normal-sized penis?
Yeah. Well, that's not true. It's much smaller than average. Time for a break. What just happened?
He's mad as hell. It's Kevin O'Sullivan.
Not so long ago, he was Britain's best-known, most respected TV anchor. Now, Huw Edwards, the BBC's star presenter who announced the death of the Queen to the world, is ruined. His glittering career on the scrap heap after admitting to a London court that he is a paedophile. His nearest equivalent in America would perhaps be NBC's Lester Holt. In Australia, maybe Jeremy Fernandez on ABC. Like Holt and Fernandez, Edwards was a man of merit trusted by millions of viewers. Now, he's a convicted child sex offender. His fall from grace is extraordinary. His life a shipwreck. No coming back. He'll never work in television again. His wife of 30 years has left him, and you can only imagine what his 5 grown-up kids make of their shamed father's ignominy. So bad news for the fallen newsman. But here's the thing. For Huw Edwards, a vile guy who looked at the worst kind of child porn pictures and described them as amazing, it's not all bad news, because after his sordid case was heard at Westminster Court, they pretty much let him off and he walked free. How? Magistrate Paul Goldspring sentenced him to 6 months in prison. Wait for it, drum roll. Suspended for 2 years. And what does that mean? It means no jail time at all. On both sides of the Atlantic, suspended sentences are pretend sentences to make our deceptive legal systems look less ludicrously lenient than they actually are. These faux punishments are full of conditions that sound serious, dire warnings that any hint of a return to nefarious activity will result in immediate incarceration. But in reality, the number of suspended sentences that get unsuspended is infinitesimal. It hardly ever happens. If Britain and America genuinely wanted to deter people from offending, they would abolish the fraud of suspended sentences. What kind of a deterrent is it to see a high-profile child sex abuser like Huw Edwards effectively told, off you go and try not to do it again? Now let's move on to the offenders less fortunate than Mr. Edwards, who do get banged up, the victims of Britain's blatant two-tiered judiciary, which demonstrably fails to treat everyone equally. A 53-year-old woman caged for 15 months for posting nasty words on Facebook amid the summer anti-immigration riots. An 18-year-old boy locked away for 2 years and 3 months for waving a St. George's flag in front of a mosque. The reason given for the fast-track jailing of the white working-class rioters was that their crimes were racially aggravated and targeted emergency workers. So targeting emergency workers warrants immediate imprisonment, but targeting little kids for sexual gratification doesn't. Really? I'm not in any way condoning the rioters, but if we were forced to choose between the crimes, which is worse? Chucking bricks at coppers or sexually abusing children? In Huw Edwards' case, sexually abusing children as young as 7. The answer's obvious. The fact that a less than brilliant lady who got carried away on Facebook is behind bars and Edwards is not, is a scandal. For what it's worth, here's my proposal. All convicted paedophiles are sentenced to jail time, as in jail time that is not suspended. No ifs, no buts. And the Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, must never again be allowed to politicise British justice by ordering judges to imprison the kind of criminals he happens not to like. There you go, sorted. See what I mean? They should listen to me.
They should.
All right, that's it. Let's move on. I mean, let's talk about. I mean, paedophilia is a terrible crime, and I think we go too light on it. But let's talk about suspended sentences. They have them in America too, probably in Australia as well. Yeah. And it's a joke. When I was a young reporter, jokes aside, many years ago in the 19th century and all that, I used to cover loads and loads of cases. I saw loads of people getting suspended sentences, and there's always this pregnant pause, this dramatic pause. I sentence you to 1 year in prison. Suspended for 2 years. And that means you're not going to prison. And you can see the people in the dock, they go, whew, thank God for that. And that's it. They pretty much you can't get a fine if you get a suspended sentence. They put a few conditions on and they walk free. We've got to think about this. It's faux justice. It's pretend justice. And I think we should get rid of suspended sentences.
I think, I mean, yeah, the bottom line is I'm with you that, if you're convicted of a crime as terrible as paedophilia, no ifs or buts, it should be instant jail time. But I think that we fall into a dangerous trap of trying to compare people, as you say, just writing hurtful things on Facebook, not going to prison, and people who do. You can't. The comparison doesn't help anybody, and it doesn't do any good.
Well, it does feed into the narrative of two-tier justice.
Well,
doesn't it?
yes, but
I think
you're
so.
having to do some
Slightly.
mental gymnastics, in my mind, to make that case.
I could come up with lots of other examples. Apparently, one lady last year, she's probably got a bit of a criminal record, but she went to jail for stealing 2 Cadbury's cream eggs from a newsagent's. So that, compared with sexually abusing a 7-year-old child, I would say slightly less serious a crime. But Samara, 80% in this country, 8 out of every 10 paedophiles are let off. They don't go to prison. We have a very, I'm not sure what the attitude is in America, but we have a very strange attitude to people who abuse young kids for sex. We go very lightly on them. Why is that?
Yeah, we do, and it's very, one of our most famous exports, Australia, Rolf Harris, to you guys, ended up being a massive pedophile as well. So, yeah, there's a terrible track record with convictions. I think it was interesting to see Huw Edwards roll up with a suitcase to his hearing, which showed that he was prepared to go and serve jail time, which means that he knew what he did was really terrible. Yeah. And I think that the fact that he got let off at such a high-profile case shows others that, yeah, you can accept those horrific videos of, I don't even want to get into what, category A is, but the worst thing that could happen to a child, just think about that, and then a video of it. Yeah. It's terrible. And the fact that he got off for accepting that. It's also different details of the case, the way that the judge actually didn't acknowledge that he had paid for these videos, that he was gifted them, whereas in the text messages it shows that, he basically received these videos and then texted the person, would you like a new pair of shoes? And then sent that person $1,500. So he knew what he was doing. He knew how illegal it was, but he found different ways to get around it. And that's actually far more insidious than originally thought.
I mean, I know what that Edwards got up to, because long before this scandal erupted, before it came to the public's attention, thanks to the Sun newspaper, or what he was getting up to. A friend of mine was one of his, if you like, victims. He's sending him all these photos. He's a young gay guy, good-looking gay guy, sending him all these photos. Come on, come and see me, come and see me. So he's been doing it for years. And it's a difficult argument here, because I think they should have specifically made an example of him because he's high profile, which ostensibly you might say is not fair, because the law should treat everyone equally. But it doesn't, as we've just said. The Prime Minister politicised our justice system during the summer by telling magistrates and judges, you've got to bang them up in prison right away. And that isn't, I mean, I'm not saying that a lot of these rioters didn't deserve jail. I don't think the Facebook posting women deserve jail, but I'm not saying that some of those rioters didn't deserve jail time. But to fast track them, to make a thing of it, that was politics at work, and that's wrong.
I need to jump in here. Listen, Britain's premier news nonce, Huw Edwards, deserves to be banged up straight away. I have no argument against that. But we have to be careful about the rioters, and you saying it's politicised and everything else. If you go and look at January the 6th in America and what happened.
There we go.
What happens when mob.
We're going to keep off Trump now. We're going to. When mob
justice takes to the streets, you've got to remember, if there's more police and if there's more people keeping law and order, a mob can quickly. Let me just finish this point, because it's really, really important. A mob can quickly overrun the system, and all of a sudden you have anarchy. And Cameron knew it back in 2010 when we had the riots, and Starmer knows it now. Well, unless you deal with mob justice really quickly, really harshly, and you possibly overreact, you must never give the mob a chance to think that they can be in control.
I got your point, but that destroys the nature of everyone is equal under the law.
No, I don't believe it does.
It does, because the Prime Minister or the President is saying you've got to, is telling judges and magistrates you've got to do this, and that is wrong. By the way, talking about Huw Edwards, and what's interesting is he got let off. A lot of people say, it's because he's a celebrity. Actually, he got the same treatment as most paedophiles, as we've discussed. What is interesting in the States right now is P. Diddy, Sean P. Diddy. Why the f*** do these people give themselves so many
Diddy.
names? I think Sean bloody Puff
Combs.
Daddy or whatever his name is, he should be behind bars for changing his name all the time.
All right, Grandad, make your point.
No, it looks like the American system is, I mean, bearing in mind he's accused of very serious sex trafficking charges, and I must stress he denies them, but the American legal system is clearly trying to make an example of him because he went in there ready to post $50 million bail. He sold a house in order to do so, and the judge said, no deal, you're going to the Met, and they banged him up, and he'll be waiting for that trial maybe for 2 years.
Yeah.
So they're really coming down on him. And I find it difficult, this area, but
Kevin,
I think that, you know, again, he should get the same treatment as everyone else.
Yeah, he should do.
However, you know, in some respects, I can see the point of making an example of high-profile defendants.
Yeah, and you know, if somebody goes around boasting about grabbing women by their genitalia and at least 10 women...
shut up!
And at least 10 women...
Shut up,
and
you
at least,
obsessed little
And at least
jerk.
10 women have accused him of sexual crimes. You'd expect
Look,
the white guy to end up in prison as well.
Simon, you're supposed...
But it's not fair.
You're making this up.
It's not fair.
Can you respect the chronology of this show? You know we're going to be talking about Donald a bit later.
I wasn't
so
talking...
well, wait!
I wasn't talking about Donald.
Wait!
I cannot believe you're making the Diddy thing about him being black. I mean, come on. This guy, if you read into what exactly he did...
And what Trump has done.
Pretty horrific. No,
God
sorry.
almighty.
Diddy literally sex trafficked...
You need help, you do, mate. You need help. You need a psychiatrist. You've got a very serious case of Trump derangement syndrome. But as I say, please wait. We will be talking about your hero in just a little while.
OK.
But anyway, Puff Daddy, Sean Diddy Combs. It's Sean Diddy Combs, isn't it?
No, I think, look, if Diddy...
At the moment, yeah?
Is
it? Come on.
Diddy
You call me
Diddler?
Grandad?
Yeah, Sean Combs.
No, Sean Diddy Combs.
Sean Combs, previously known as Puff Daddy and then P. Diddy. Let's call him Sean
Diddy Combs now is the name, right?
I just want to know...
You're the young person
I just want to know when the case goes, who are they going to pin it on? Sean Diddy Combs?
Yeah,
Diddy,
that's right. Yeah, it's just
Puff
so you got the wrong
Daddy.
person.
Yeah.
Did he do it?
Yeah,
or
did he
not?
do it or did he not?
Diddy
Exactly.
Diddler.
He did.
No, I think I hope that he's made an example of, because I think what
If he's guilty.
If he's guilty.
If he's guilty, totally. But you know, this is an interweb of celebrities that he was involved with. It's a much darker and deeper story, and I think we will get the facts much later as to what actually this means. People are saying it's another Jeffrey Epstein moment. We don't know yet.
But bear in mind, Andrew Tate is up for sex trafficking as well. By the way, to go back to Sean Diddy Coombe, Puff Daddy, whatever his name is, my favourite little detail is the 2,000 bottles of lube that were retrieved from one of his
it's not my
homes.
favourite detail, but...
Well, it is, because the other
Nobody
details...
knows. Nobody wants to know what your favourite detail is.
I should say the alleged details, they don't bear thinking about. I love the way his lawyer said he's not a perfect man, not a
far from
perfect
it.
character.
Maybe there was a sale on at Walmart or something and he got it in bulk. We don't know. Let's not prejudge.
Well,
that's a slippery slope.
It's a slippery slope, and we mustn't prejudge Puff Diddy Daddy Doddy, blah, 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 whatever his name is right now. It's time for a bad ad.
A double pleasure's waiting for you. A double pleasure from Double Mint Gum. A double great feeling, making you realize Double Mint's the one for you. Double fresh, double smooth, double delicious to chew. A double pleasure is waiting for you. Double Mint Gum. A double pleasure is waiting for you. Double Mint Gum.
Is that an Australian advert?
Yeah, that does look like it.
That looks like
Especially also with
Australia,
the prices,
doesn't it?
that's very Australian.
I like
Prices.
Wrigley's sleeveless jumpers.
I love the way you say it's Australian. That in Australia, just the idea that twins might like chewing gum is such a... I know. What if
They're
twins?
both chewing gum? Extraordinary. I don't know what it was about that advert, but you know the two guys and
Very
they're sitting on that
incestuous.
wall with a bit... I just sort of kind of wanted them to go and push them off.
Were the guys twins? I couldn't see whether the guys were twins because they
Yeah.
allowed the guys to have their own individuality by putting them in different
No,
clothes.
the guys were serial killers. And on that bombshell, it's time for a real break. What just happened?
He's mad as hell. It's Kevin O'Sullivan.
Welcome back. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. Right, let's talk about Donald. But what we're going to talk about now, I love that. That was a masterstroke, by the way. We'll come on to that in a little while. Everyone's still talking about it.
Yeah.
Nobody talking about Kamala anymore. But what we are going to talk about now is the apparent... I'm going to pose this question. The American Secret Service, after 2 assassination attempts on the Donald, are they just completely useless, or are they deliberately trying to get him killed? It must be one or the other, because they've been hopeless in both attempts on Donald Trump's life. The last one, this golf club thing, it was extraordinary. The local police chief said, or the local Secret Service chief, he said on TV, he said, well, the thing is, if he was a serving president, we'd have agents all around the golf course. But because he's only a former president, we didn't. Well, 2 months ago, someone sort of shot his ear, nearly shot his head off. Surely he should get full protection right now. I mean, the American Secret Service used to have a fantastic reputation, Simon, but now, not so much. What's going on here?
Look, there's in one of my favourite films, Godfather Part 2, Michael Corleone says to somebody, if history has taught us anything, it's that anybody can be assassinated. And if somebody's got it in their
Any bloody
head,
fool can be assassinated.
if somebody's got it in their head that they're going to shoot somebody, trying to track the movements of a lone person, the fact that this guy was spotted by the Secret Service, you have to hand it to the Secret Service.
Yeah,
he shouldn't have been in that position anyway, but they spotted him. He was apprehended. He's been arrested. The first one, I've forgotten the guy's name. Was it Tommy Briggs or something? But the first young lad on the barn, that's a massive dereliction of duty by the Secret Service. But also, and I think that you guys might be guilty of this as well, I don't think you realise just how much people hate Trump. And that's coming home to roost now.
What, talking to you?
That's coming home to roost now.
Talking to you, Simon, I think we've got a slight inkling about that.
Yeah.
I mean, what about that first attempt?
Miss
I mean, the
Cheadle-
problem with the first attempt on his life in terms of the protection that the Secret Service gave him was, first of all, there was all these members of the public going, there's a guy on the roof with a gun. They go, don't worry about it. And then after he was shot, you expect, the whole thing with the Secret Service is you take a bullet for the guy you're protecting. And they all went in to protect him, and they all turned out to be short, fat women. So that wasn't particularly good, was it?
Yes, and then the head, obviously, of the Secret Service, which was a DEI or a big champion of that, she has since resigned. She took your advice that you said a couple of weeks ago, thankfully.
Well, it wasn't advice. I ordered her to
Yeah,
resign,
you did.
And she obeyed my orders.
You did, but she, what's interesting about this is that man was waiting there for about 5 hours.
12, apparently.
Oh, 12.
Yeah,
12 hours. 12 hours,
So even worse, a lot longer than we think. And Joe Biden's the problem. Joe Biden hadn't, after that first assassination attempt, he hadn't granted full protection to Trump. And now it's taken 2 attempts on the man's life for him to now grant that to him.
But Simon, I know you want to get your boring oar in a minute, but so you talk about, the problem is just how much people hate Donald Trump. And this is the rhetoric, this is the narrative that's coming out of Camp Kamala right now. And it is that, it's his fault because he says all these explosive incendiary things. If he just dialed down his rhetoric, then people wouldn't keep trying to kill him. You can't blame him. It's not his fault that these lunatics keep trying to kill him.
I'm not blaming him, but there is kind of cause and effect. If you go around saying that all the Haitians are eating the dogs, eating the cats, apparently...
Anybody disproved that?
Apparently, yes. Apparently it's a massive lie.
Anybody disproved that?
Oh, God, I'm not going to sit here
Has
and just
anybody disproved it?
Yes, it's a lie. It's not been verified
Nobody has disproved it.
Yes, they have.
What did the police say?
The police say we have no record or evidence.
No, they didn't. They said we have had no credible reports. What does that mean? It means they've had reports.
It means they've had no reports that are credible.
You just don't want to believe it.
Okay, listen.
Folks, I say they're eating the dogs.
Okay.
Let's go. Right,
listen.
okay, anyway, Donald Trump has made a record about it. Wait a minute, I'm introducing something. Stop being so amateurish. Here's Donald Trump.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. Eat the cat. eat the cat, eat the cat, eat the cat.
Seeing red, so don't push me. Ain't Donald Trump trying to grab him by the... Said it was some Haitians, somewhere out in Springfield. Women doing cartwheels.
Have you seen Garfield?
Eat the cat.
Have you seen Snowball? This about to snowball. I'm about to go off. I can't let this go on. Miss me like an airball. Tell me when my cat is coughing up like a hairball.
Eat the cat.
I gotta tell them if they even put the fingernail on Santa's little helper to turn them to hamburger helper. Somebody better help them, cause I'm going to jail for showing them fellas helter-skelter.
Eating the dog.
Usually I'm content, but if you touch my dog, then I'm turning into John Wick. I'm lit. Bird better drop it. If you touch my pet, then I'm pulling up like CrossFit.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. Eat the cat.
It's a shame, it's a pity. Gone overseas where they said Hello Kitty, but it ain't there, it's right here in your city. When I turn my back, now the cat goes missing in the where my peoples is at. Does anybody know where he flipping at? Cause I heard they putting claws on felines, I'm mad. And my cat disappeared just like Felix the cat. And they got paid back. Thought she was a goner, but the cat came back. If you ain't a pussy cat, say drop that cat. Drop that cat. Drop that cat. Got paid back. Thought she was a goner, but the cat came back. If you ain't a pussy cat, say drop that cat. Drop that cat. Drop that cat.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. Eat the cat.
Drop that cat.
See, the thing is, Samara, that was it. That, you know, whether or not it's true, and I say no one's disproved it. They are eating the ducks, by the way. They're taking them out of the pond. And by the way, Springfield is a city of 58,000 people that had 20,000 Haitian migrants imposed upon it. Suddenly, 20,000 people imposed on a community of 58,000. That is going to cause social problems. So things are not good in Springfield, Ohio. That said, whether the veracity of they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, of the people that live there, might not be the issue. The thing is that that's all anyone's talking about, and they're not talking about Kamala. I'll tell you...
And they're not talking policy. Look at you. You're showing this.
The policy...
You're not talking policy. You're not talking politics. You say that Kamala hasn't anything. You're dancing in your seat at that. You're talking about this. You're doing the voices. And that's why he's not a serious politician. And to make the point...
Well, Kamala is...
The trouble with the Secret Service, trying to spot a nut with a gun at a Trump rally is like trying to spot a black person at Notting Hill Carnival. It's almost impossible. You know what I mean? And we can laugh at that and everything else, but that's what we're reduced to. Political discourse has been reduced to a song with cartoons and everything else. And people, the reason that you're going, we can't verify BBC, we can't verify that. But
don't you ever come on this show talk about the
let's laugh at all this eating the dogs and eating the cats, which hasn't been proved at all. I mean, it's just that's where we are.
Disproved,
that is where we are.
Anyway, Samara.
Yeah, they have. And I mean, I saw J.D. Vance, Trump's running mate, on Fox News saying, you know, this was more about bringing attention to a critical issue, which is untethered migration and a lot of Biden's policies. There's no joke that migration is up. The two key issues for Americans for this election, Reuters will tell you, every other polling company will tell you, is migration and the economy. And that's what people trust Trump more with. Abortion, that's about 8th on the list. No one really cares about that.
She's in the shit, your hero. I'll tell you, she is. And I'll tell you, the thing is, you know what? Since the debate, it didn't.
Which she won.
It didn't change the dial, though.
Didn't
change the dial. And do you know what? They're all talking about eating the dogs.
Stop doing
that's
that.
What I just love doing.
Stop it.
I love doing it. If it annoys you, they're eating the dogs. Everybody's talking about that. And do you know what? In the slipstream of that debate, people have started to say, all across America, hang on. So he said that. You know, some people laugh at it. Some people take it seriously. They're certainly talking about it. And then they're going, but what does she say? Oh, I know. All. She didn't say anything. So her emptiness has also become an issue. She's on the wane, mate.
Yeah, because it's easy. It's easy in America to go on and say a massive lie like that, and it becomes a trending issue. And in the meantime...
It's not a lie. It's time for a bad ad.
Believe me, I've seen it all. And this is the best I've ever seen. me tell you something. From entertainment to just taking care of you, they treat everybody like a king.
Especially if you are one.
Hey, this is a castle.
You're the king of the castle.
Trump's Castle, the crown jewel of Atlantic City.
Well, that was a rare failure for Donald. That was his.
What, not like Trump University, Trump
Now, wait a
States, Trump
second.
wine.
Can I get to the end of a sentence, please? That was the casino that he launched in Atlantic City that failed. So that didn't work out for him. A good advert, though, wasn't it?
I'm just amazed that P. Diddy wouldn't have enough lube
Honestly, mate.
for you
Honestly, mate.
and Trump
Honestly,
to
mate.
spend
Honestly,
a
mate.
night together.
Honestly, mate, you are so. Listen, mate, you are so pathetic. You come in. It's been verified by BBC Verified.
Well,
do you
let's show
know?
a Trump-
Do
let's
you
show a
know
Trump
how
ad.
pathetic that is? Time for a real break.
I hate it when you do that.
What just happened?
He's mad as hell. It's Kevin O'Sullivan.
Welcome back to What Just Happened, greatest programme ever made, and it's been verified by BBC Verify. Anyway, never mind that. It's time. What an idiot. BBC Verify, give me a break. Right, we're going to talk about all the admiring mail that I get, my fan mail, and all the bad mail that we get about Simon over there. And so, ladies first, Simon.
Sometimes, Kevin, you're absolutely irritating, says
Simon.
Jeanette Neem. Yeah, it should be me. Jeanette Neem says, sometimes, Kevin, you're absolutely irritating.
Jeanette Neem, I think you've got a point. I can be irritating, I'll admit that. I try to irritate him. What do you got, Samara?
Lady May says, this guy Simon is delusional, just like the Harkles. What a joke.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Simon. You are delusional. By the way, I know I do this every week, but it's worth doing it. Thank you very much for all the messages. We get thousands, and we really appreciate it. And we appreciate you watching all over the world, obviously, here in Britain, in America, Australia. We recently found out we have a sizable audience in Latvia. I'm very grateful for that, but I have no idea what it's about. But Simon, next.
This is from Lucy Marin Major. He says, Simon is truly ignorant. And then she goes on to spell Kamala Harris wrong and to say she's not even black, she is Indian. So well done, Lucy there, Lucy Marin.
Lucy Marin, how did she spell Kamala then?
Kenala.
Kenala.
Yes.
Kenala.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, Lucy May, you're on the right track. You're exactly right. I'm with you,
get
all
a
the way.
B for effort.
That was just, I'm sure that was a spell check mistake. So thank you very much. Good message.
Elle says, Kevin, I was in total agreement with you, and then I had to hit the pause button and moved on as soon as I saw that you had a ridiculous Harry and Meghan supporter to spew nonsense. Please stop giving him a chance to air his absurd and irrational attachment to the grifting Harry and Meg.
And who's that from?
Elle.
So over to the absurd Harry and Meghan supporter. What do you got, Simon?
Well, there's no credible evidence that I do that,
Yeah.
so it must be true. CS-LE5SZ says, this guy London is living in an alternate universe like the ginger and his awful wife. Please don't have him on again. He adds nothing to the conversation. Thank you, CS.
Actually, I almost missed you last week. I mean, I say almost. I'd like to say I missed you.
Like Ryan Rose.
I'd
Trump.
like to say that I missed Simon last week, but that wouldn't be true. It's actually quite good to have him back. It's good to the village idiot is back. What do you got, Simon?
Simon?
Simon.
Yeah, the village idiot.
Samara.
Anyway, I don't know your name, but
Simon.
Simple Samara. Kids author Dave said, oh, Simon, come off it. You make no sense. Talk about hypocrisy. Look at the dictionary and you'll see Harry and Meghan's picture right there.
Yeah, exactly
Yes,
right.
Dave.
Exactly right. You next, Simon.
Denise Gonzalez has got our number. Horrible, pathetic show, she says.
So that goes for all of us. Horrible, pathetic show.
Valerie's just said horrible hosts.
Horrible hosts.
Yes, hosts. So this is just a general, I hate all of you, I hate the world.
She could have put it in the singular, so at least it would have been, I don't care what people say about me as long as they're talking about
Rosemary Fernandez says, you tell him, Simon. I will, Rosemary, and he'll go, time for a bad ad. I'm telling my mum.
My mum's dead. How dare you use her name in vain? Rosemary, what have you got?
She has said Simon doesn't realise most of what he says could be considered hate speech under his views. It's funny how he speaks against Elon and others' free speech, yet he disputes or distributes false information and disinformation.
Yeah, you see, you're as bad as Elon Musk. Actually, I'm a big fan of Elon Musk, so you're much worse than Elon.
How conflicted must you be now then, after saying that?
I love autistic men.
No, I love Elon Musk. You know, he's a successful and brilliant and interesting man.
More lube, please.
Talking of people who aren't successful, brilliant, or indeed anything at all, Simon, what have you got next?
Rosa Brindle says, Kevin, stop moving your left arm like a robot.
It's true. I can like this all the time. and this. I'm aware of my faults. Who was that from again?
That was from Rosa Brindle.
I'll do my best, Rosa, but the thing is, these arms, you know, I talk like this, like I'm doing semaphore or something, and they're nothing to do with me. They're a law unto themselves. I've tried to stop it. Look, here I go. Do you know what it means, apparently, when people who do...
Gesticulate.
No, it's to do with an overstated desire to communicate.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, you know, I'm trying to sort of signal what I'm saying, because what I'm saying probably doesn't make any sense. What have you got, Samara?
Gwendolyn has said, Simple Simon does not comment on American politics. He's clearly uneducated.
But I do.
He does comment on American politics.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. I think his views on American politics betray a lack of education. Did you go to school?
Yes, it was approved.
Yeah. You see that date shit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That joke we used to have when we were kids.
Yeah.
When we were kids, when Simon and I were kids, not Samara, because she's considerably younger than us.
12 years old,
They used to have a system in Britain called approved schools, which were basically penitentiaries for bad kids. So they used to call them approved schools. So they said, did you go to a good school? Yeah, really good. It was approved. So, go on.
A joke explained as a joke halved.
It wasn't a funny... Nobody would have got it. It wasn't a funny joke in the first place.
It's not going to make
You're
the edit.
right, I did diminish it considerably.
Margaret Sprinkle says, boom, you guys, I love it and appreciate you guys saying it like it is. Thank you. Finally, just stating the truth, Harry a man baby and deserves what he created. Meg is nothing more than a wannabe. They both make me sick. I love the way it starts up there. And then...
Margaret Sprinkle, way to go. What a great message that was. Keep on sending them and we'll read yours out, definitely. Lovely name as well. Well, thank you to Margaret Sprinkle. Samara Gill, what have you got?
Catherine has said Simon is the most uninformed expert yet. At least she's called you an expert.
Expert? What do you mean uninformed? I mean, uninformed, yeah, but nobody ever said he was a bloody expert. What's time for a bad ad?
This is Paul Nathan at the Arts, Crafts, Hobbies Building and Exhibition Place. For the last time this year, 48 of Montreal and Toronto's leading fur manufacturers are assembling their entire collections for the largest end-of-season fur clearance ever held. Hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of designer furs, including such prestigious names as Laban, Canada Majestic, and Black Llama. This luxurious mink coat worth $3,200 at Exhibition Place, only $595, or on-the-spot financing and wear at home for just $55 a month. February the 14th to 17th in the Arts, Crafts, Hobbies Building at Exhibition Place.
It's a new country, Canada. So we've done America, Australia, and Canada. Yeah. And we've done a few British ads, haven't we, as well? Yeah, interesting. And nice to see all those furs. Very cruel to animals, obviously, fur coats. Almost as cruel as the sport of polo, which is very, very cruel to polo ponies. More of that later. And on that animal cruelty bombshell, that's it for another week of What Just Happened. We'll be back next week, same time, same place. Just you be there. What just happened?